Hello, everyone. I'm JeanClaude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this very special report entitled The Siege of Ottawa, Freedom Convoy, and Special Updates. You can find my co-host again tonight, Janine Morigeau, at Ascending Ravens here on YouTube, and also at Tarot by Janine. Janine, welcome back to the show.
Hi, everybody. Hi, JeanClaude.
How's it going today, Janine?
Kind of weird. It's a bit intense day, intense energy day. We were just kind of talking about it. Feels like there's something going on, like that's affecting everybody, maybe astrologically.
Well, I didn't know what it was too, because of course yesterday I was live from Parliament Hill, braving the -30 temperatures, but I was so elated over there, so excited just to be part of all of that love, that peace energy that of course none of the mainstream media wants to report on. I felt really, really cool yesterday. Today I'm feeling kind of off, and I was like, what's this weird energy? And I thought, oh, perhaps it's Trudeau's speech this morning that got me off cue. But I'm like, oh no, I don't care what he says. He's completely off his rocker, not paying attention to any Canadians, of course. Like, it was complete rhetoric and divisive. We'll get to that in a second here, folks. But maybe it has something to do with this new moon. Let me bring up this slide. Somebody sent me this earlier today. What do you make of this energy today? And how is it affecting you specifically, Janine?
Well, that does make sense when you read that, what they're saying there. I love that it ends chaos and delivers unexpected good news, which honestly, we've been seeing in the cards, and we're feeling it. Like with all the stuff they've been throwing at those truckers and trying to blame all of these things, none of it's sticking so far. And it's all been already, it's, like if you do any digging, you can see they're just telling you fibs. So that makes sense that it's going to be sudden breakthroughs, because what we were getting in the next couple of days could be like huge breakthroughs.
Carol says, hey, I was in Ottawa Saturday. It was awesome. Yes, of course. I wish I would have seen you there. Were you the same Carol I interviewed from Quebec? Probably not. That was Sunday. At any rate, that was funny. I really enjoyed being there on the Hill this weekend with everyone. And let me bring up, I guess the highlight of all of this to me is this. Let me see if I can bring up this poster here. This is it. The feeling of love, of hope, of peace, of unity. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people in that same energy, yet no mainstream media wherever was reporting that. They were all focused on maybe these couple of handfuls of agents provocateurs, or in this particular parody here, paid government actors, maybe, I don't know. But clearly, even today, that's what the mainstream media is focusing on. And I just couldn't believe it. I mean, you saw the interview on Sunday, and it continued. Everybody I spoke to on Sunday told me the same thing. Love, peace, harmony. We're all together. I'll play a few clips here tonight. And I wasn't picking and choosing just the lovey-dovey people. Like, everybody I talked to was in that energy. Yeah. So to see the mainstream media telling us that it's the opposite is disingenuous, to say the least. Like, wow, absolutely. Yeah. Let me see if I can bring this one comment up from Tara. She really struck me. And what was really funny, let me set this up. She's the lady who did some tarot readings. And of course, she saw the change happening right now and a beautiful outcome. So she was very positive. And after we talked about the tarot, I brought up, I asked her, how would she describe this energy we're all feeling here to the audience? So let me bring Tara up here and let's hear it from her specifically. Let me see if I can bring the volume up for you guys. There you go.
Talking about the future then. I am. And what would you say to your fellow Canadians who are listening to you today about that Canadian spirit, that energy we're feeling in the air today? How do you send that energy through the airways? What would you tell them?
I would say if you could just feel the love that was here, you wouldn't feel the fear anymore.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Wow, that's it. Feel the love. You won't feel the fear, even though the mainstream media wants to pump that fear 24/7. We need more people like her. Okay, back to you guys.
Wow, that was absolutely amazing. So a big thank you to Tara. And I found her today on her social media, and I did send her this clip. And what was funny, she said somebody had sent her a link to BeyondMystic a couple of months ago, and she, like every other Canadian, were bombarded with everything, and she was limited to what she could watch. And now she realizes, wow, maybe that was divine timing. I was supposed to connect with you. So who knows? And she told me too, this was really funny. She told me later today, as I asked her that question, her mind went blank. She didn't know what to answer. And she says, thank God somebody gave me those words to say to you live. So I'm like, wow, divine intervention there as well. Oh, that's absolutely amazing. How did it make you feel when you saw this during the live clip, Janine?
Oh yeah, absolutely beautiful. And it sort of summed up, it pretty much summed it up in the shortest way you could, exactly what's actually going. What's going on is dissipation of fear and bring up the love vibe, which is literally the opposite of, I think even if the dark hats, because we've seen a lot of nods that possibly they saw something like this coming or even wanted to instigate something. You know, there's a tarot deck, or what they call a tarot deck, a divining deck, that was made by the Illumin, those guys, and then add the word Anadi at the end of that, those guys. And it's a tarot deck by those kind of players. And one of the cards is a truck shut down the world with a truck strike. Okay, so a lot of people were saying, because this was made like 6 years ago or something, a lot of people were saying, okay, that they did, like they're maybe back in this, or they're somehow this is a trap and they wanted us to do this. But we, in a way, maybe that could be partly true. Okay, but if you look at it, we're taking a totally different stance. It's not a strike, it's a convoy for freedom. And the vibration is not anger and give us more of something, which a strike would be about. And often for good cause. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with striking when you need to, but this isn't a strike. This is a convoy, literally, of love and freedom.
Absolutely.
And it's so obvious, like anybody who's not seeing that is absolutely kind of deaf and blind.
Yeah, and to the mainstream media, again, as I said during the live show, it's so unfortunate. We Canadians are gelling together and feeling that sense of unity like never before, like no politicians have ever been able to accomplish, yet the media won't share that with the audience in the words that Tara just spoke to us. So it's very unfortunate. Carolina saying, hey, JC, can you place that? Yeah, it's right on top of my Twitter. So if you go to Beyond Mystic Beyond_Mystic on Twitter, right now it's pinned to the top there, but you can also find that, of course, on my YouTube and share that clip with everyone. Yeah. So big thank you, Carolina, for that. And what's funny, you just mentioned we're changing stereotypes or the way people see the world here. Maxime Bernier just tweeted a few minutes ago as well. Same thing here. We're understanding now that these people who are voicing their concerns are not those extremists that or disgruntled, middle-aged, far-right, potentially violent, all these words that the mainstream media and Monsieur Trudeau is trying to explain. That's absolutely not what we were seeing. And of course, he was there himself also during the weekend to feel the love. And I got to tell you, there was absolutely a lot of love. So let's get into it. First of all, thank you everyone for joining us here tonight on this live interactive show. We have a big slide deck, quite a few things to discuss. We'll try to bring your comments on as we go and also take some questions a little bit later on in the show. But we want to bring your attention to this speech here this morning. This, of course, was retweeted as a gag from Il Donaldo Trumpo. You guys can go check that out on Twitter. First of all, Janine, what did you make of this speech? How do you break it down? What's the highlight of this speech as far as you're concerned?
Gaslighting. Like, this is a guy who's been outed with blackface more than at least twice anyway, let's say, that we know of. Okay, and we don't even know for sure. I mean, he seems to really like doing that, and here he's throwing out words like, you know, the kind of words he was throwing around. It's unbelievable. It was like he didn't even give not even a tiny nod to the millions. It was like millions of Canadians along the way to this their destination, who were cheering and loving them all the way, sending them cookies. I put up some videos of one trucker describing what's in some of the bags they're getting from families. We got grandmas making muffins. We got, come on. He didn't even give one single comment to those people. He's talking about maybe an eighth of a percent of that bunch that's in the crowd might be something like what he's talking about. But, 99% of them are incredible people.
I'm going to stop that clip there. I might play the rest of it later because it's just funny. But at any rate, you're absolutely right. When he was talking about, oh, disgusting behavior and all that, he's not talking about the millions of Canadians that were lining the street, that were supporting, that were providing housing and food and respite to all of these drivers. Like, it's incredible. And of course, they're not talking about the fact that the truckers so far, I think they're up to $10 million. I mean, this is 3 times, like just in the last couple of days, this is 3 times more than the Liberal Party accumulated 3 weeks into their campaign. I think they had $3.5 million. So again, when he's talking about the fringe and who's supporting who here, again, the media is completely silent on the fact that all of these Canadians are supporting these truckers in a big way, not just on the side of the highway, not just on Parliament Hill, but also financially and with food and all of these other things. Again, very interesting. Okay, let's talk about this guy. Looked different today. To me, he looked a little bit puffy, maybe a little bit bloated, maybe tired, maybe he didn't sleep too well in the last couple of days. It's a little bit, could be a double, not sure yet. But there are also reports that perhaps his jet wasn't exactly where it was supposed to be here. So I'll bring that on the screen. First, what are your impressions on whether or not it was him or maybe somebody else playing the part here today, Janine?
Well, I'm going to repeat what I always say. I don't think it's him, but I don't think it's the same double that was saying some of the other things he's been saying all week. That's not the same. So it's one of the doubles is what I'd say, just off the cuff. But we should ask the cards because, you know, like you put something up that your word on the street is that his plane was in, where was it? Germany, you know. And apparently he's in Tofino. All of a sudden he's in Tofino. How do you get to Tofino? He was supposed to be isolating. Do you know what I mean? Him and his family. Like, it's just so smoke and mirrors with this bunch. You know what I mean? But let's have a look.
And again here, he's urging people, the way through this is to get the thingy, and get the thingy, please get the thingy. Well, yet he supposedly got the thingy a couple of times, and yet he's testing positive. So what?
And so is his whole family. So is his whole family. So in what reality, and like at least he has a private jet, he gets to jet around places. The rest of us don't get to go anywhere. When we have to isolate, it's for real. You're supposed to isolate. Like this it's absurd. It's like the elitism and, you know, gaslighting. And it's unbelievable that anyone would even listen to it, honestly. But if you read the comments underneath, the comments were
We'll get to that in a second here. I don't know if Global News canceled the comments, but they were absolutely horrific towards the PM. Like, nobody believes that crap today. And even on his personal Twitter, underneath his tweets, like, wow, Canadians are not accepting this at all. It's horrendous. I'll show that in a minute. So, first of all, was it him or was it a double here? Let's ask the cards.
Okay. Clearly a double.
Okay.
Smoke and mirrors. This card's telling you lies. This guy's a magician. You know, that says everything. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune. So they've been playing around with several doubles probably. Right? The Wheel of Fortune. That's really funny. Okay. And we've got the Ace in the past. So for a while, you really were seeing the real guy. Okay. But not now. I think it's been quite a while that you haven't. I'm thinking even 10 months with we got 3 major arcanas all in a row. I don't think it's been him for about 10 months. So there's something going on, but it used to, like, I remember a year ago, it was looking like him still. But you'd often catch that little anklet that they wear. I don't know. It's just me. Yeah. Okay. All major arcana. So now we've got the Lover. So they're flipping them back and forth between 2 different doubles, you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go into this story. Was the real one or the other one? What's going on with Germany? What is it true that perhaps his plane was in Germany or Berlin here specifically is what is being reported on the screen here? Is that correct? And if so, what was the strategy there? What's going on?
So why would they even let that out of the bag is what I'm wondering. Right? Because if they're playing around with doubles, they're not going to send one of the doubles to Germany probably. I mean, maybe, maybe, but let's have a look.
Well, crazy weird times. Like, wouldn't be surprised at anything at this point.
Okay, so why that story? Okay. Okay, I'm thinking it was put out there as a story. So it was put out there, probably so you question everything.
Mm-hmm.
Fickle. This is a fickle card. They're just throwing out stuff. They're throwing out stuff. We'll probably see a couple more locations. You know, because then of course people were saying they spotted him in Tofino, but that obviously is the other double, the sort of fatter faced double guy that we saw in that clip you showed. Yeah. So I think you're just playing around with stories now. I don't think that was even true. Looking at these cards, that's just, they put it out there. They put it out there. And this card here is telling me they're, you know, we might even hear of a couple more. They're just throwing things out there to keep everybody on their toes. Remember, I think the Canadian government's being shadow governed. But this is kind of what it's looking like here. Whoever's doing it, they're definitely not really where they say they are. Let's just say that.
Okay, very interesting. Let me bring up this other individual whom I interviewed during the weekend. Let me see if I can bring these comments off the screen to bring that up. His name was Owen. And I said, Owen is the man, a real Canadian. Love this guy. Wait till you have to say, again, in stark contrast to what everything in the media is trying to push at us in terms of who's on Parliament Hill and who's supporting these truckers. So this is me interviewing him, and just in front there, or in the back of us there, is Wellington Street. You can't really see from this angle, but the big stage was there, and the hoisted flag was there, and basically the Peace Tower is just opposite us here. But anyway, so let me see if I can bring that clip. He was just absolutely amazing. Let's see if we can bring this up.
I have another amazing Canadian here, a small French minority Canadian who's here also fighting for his rights. What name, sir?
Hi, I'm Owen.
Hi, Owen. Where are you from?
I'm from Guelph, Ontario.
Why are you here today, Owen?
Well, I'm here because I'm proud to be Canadian, strong and free. And I believe that everyone should have the freedom of choice, and I'm so proud to live in a country. We have the freedom to gather peacefully as a people and say that we're not proud or that we are not happy with the way things have been run recently. I'm so thankful for freedom because so many people around this country don't have it. And so or around the world don't have it. And us in Canada, we do. And so now I just want the freedom of choice for everybody. This is not about vaccine. I'm personally chose to be vaccinated. That was my personal decision. And I love everybody, whether you're vaccinated, whether you're not. And I don't think people should be put in two different groups. I want people to choose. If you want to go watch your kid play hockey, that's your choice. And if you want to go to school and attend extracurricular activities, that's your choice. And so I'm just here to support Canada. Everyone sits here in a very peaceful protest. And I think it's very important to highlight we are peaceful people here in Canada. And we're doing a peaceful protest.
And what would you say to Trudeau, who's calling us out, a small, fringe minority group?
Well, I think he realizes now we're not a fringe minority, but I do want to appreciate that he's in a very difficult position right now, being thrown into a pandemic through the middle of his term. And so I do have empathy for him, but I hope he listens to what we've done here today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being so really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Again, huge contrast to what we're being told in the mainstream news. Like, this is the epitome of the polite Canadian. Speak about that, Janine. What were your impressions?
Totally. Oh, that guy, like, he's so sweet. Very patient with the PM, I'll tell you. Cutting him way too much slack, but other than that, the guy's brilliant message.
Yeah.
Just a true upstanding fella.
Yeah. And again, it just goes to show, like, they're trying to brand this as the unwilling, and it's not. Like, so many people I talked to, you know, took personal decisions, and this was not what it's all about. It's all about freedom of choice. And let's listen to what Trudeau used to say about freedom of choice and what people do with their bodies. Let's see if I can bring that clip up here. Again, in huge contrast to what he's now saying today. Hold on.
Of openness, of respect, of compassion, of the rule of law, of the rights of the individuals, of freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from crime, freedom to love who you want and not be judged for it, freedom to do what you want with your body. This country is a country of openness.
That was the end of the clip. Freedom to do what you want with your body. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It's
Funny.
so
He doesn't.
fascinating because everything they did in the plan, you know what, Demick?
Yep.
Every single thing was the opposite of what he's saying. Exactly the opposite. Took all the freedoms away. Forget about any of that. Just forget about it. Throw it right out the window.
Yeah, absolutely. Cobalt Silver is saying, JC, you must make this viral. I did. Well, I'm trying, but nobody in the mainstream news wants to pick it up. So it's up to you guys. This is also on my Twitter, so go find it. It's like just there. Go check it out and please retweet it. I also put it on our Telegram account and where else? On my Facebook. Speaking of Telegram, please do go check out Janine here at Tarot by Janine channel on Telegram. Let me bring that link down in the chat for you guys as well, because there are some of our tweets that are disappearing from our friend at Twitter. So go check this one out. And you can find me as well somewhere here at t.me/beyond_mystic. So please do go and subscribe there, as well as I'm putting more and more content there for you guys. And yes, please, everyone who's listening to this, please do your part. Share the videos. It's absolutely important that we share this and we get to Canadians, because of course the mainstream news is not doing it, and we need to wake up our brothers and sisters to the true reality of what was happening on Parliament here. I was there, I felt it myself, and watching the mainstream news trying to portray it as something else really pisses me off, I have to say. In the last couple of days, just watching them and squirm around. And on that note too, I had an RCMP bodyguard on that day, a person who was off duty but who offered their services to kind of help me out there to manage the crowds and be in a safe place while I was interviewing. So absolutely grateful to that person. They know who they are. A big thank you. It made it possible for me to concentrate and do these videos without having to worry, because it's always difficult when there's a lot of people around, and I felt safe and secure doing so. So a big thank you to you who was behind the camera and helping me out. What was interesting, at some point, she saw two people who were coming to me with kind of like those, they were gunning for me eyes type of thing. And she kind of just, oh, can I help you guys? Are you guys okay? And they were like, well, who's that guy with? What organization is that guy with? And she's CTV, CBC? And she's like, oh, no. He's a truther on YouTube. And they're like, oh, okay, good. Because we don't want anybody misportraying what we're doing here. So I was like, all right, come on camera, guys. They were shy to come on camera. But, they were also pissed off at the way the mainstream media has been portrayed. Yeah. So they wanted to make sure I wasn't working for CBC. Whew, thank God. That was funny. Oh my God. Okay. Talking about the RCMP, let's talk about this guy here. Former RCMP sniper for Trudeau, Defects, is now the head of security for Freedom Convoy. Imagine that. Janine. Wow. Your thoughts on this? Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah. And did you hear that apparently Trudeau is divorced? I didn't know that until recently, because there's a story going around that his ex, Sophie, I didn't know that was his ex, but apparently his ex has been one of the biggest contributors to the GoFundMe, supposedly.
I saw her name somewhere on the tweet, a screenshot. I'm like, maybe not. I mean,
somebody just might have put her name. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah. We'll get to the GoFundMe here, because there's a lot of weird reports about that too. So I want to. I've got a few emails of people telling me I got it wrong. So if I got it wrong, I want to address that here too. This is the fog of war. We're trying to do our best, of course. And Ben Thompson says, hey, JC, you should have a sign. We're not the MSN. Come talk to us. Yes. I was just saying I need a Beyond Mystic sign or something. And actually, I did have some fans who found me. And I was like so surprised, because first of all, because of lockdowns, I don't see anybody. So it's not like I do. But I do have a lot of people in Ottawa, Gatineau, who watch our show. So I thought that was absolutely funny. And this guy came up to me. He says, JeanClaude, you're JeanClaude. I was like, yeah. He says, can I give you money? I never tipped you before. I'm like, dude, no. I said, thank you. Just saying that made my day. So I was so excited. So whoever you are, a big thank you to you if you're watching this show. I thought that was absolutely fabulous. But you did catch me off guard with that one. I'm like, no, just give me the love and appreciation on the grounds was more than enough. So big thank you. Okay, let's go back to this news story. I wanted to know, Has this rocked the world of perhaps the protection detail around Trudeau? Are those guys also starting to see maybe the light and trying to maybe sabotage here? Because we just saw, I believe it was on Friday, there was a helicopter that violated the no-fly zone above the parliament and flew right above the Peace Tower with a certain marking underneath its belly, and nothing was done to it. So I'm curious here, who let that one fly by, even though it is a no-fly zone? So is this move here by this gentleman also testing maybe the resolve of the people providing security for this administration? What can the cards tell us on that?
Okay, here we go. So in the past, the whole government's been taken apart. And what you're seeing is smoke and mirrors. And like, they're just in all new territory. So they probably cut all those guys loose, except people that they could trust to do the movie with. They're doing a movie, you guys. And the people left who are actually real are made deals. Okay, so they made deals to perform in this big movie that's going on. I'm telling you, there's still a movie going on. I know it's hard to believe, but yeah. So they have protection because there's a shadow government governing all the countries, you guys. So they're protected. They're part of the group that is actually governing. That's who did that.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you recap a little bit? Because I missed parts of the live stream when I was speaking with audience in the crowd. You guys talked about, Julian, yourself, you talked about February 3rd, and maybe that was important here. Do you remember what that was about? And can you recap here why the alignments maybe on the 3rd, or what else seems to be happening here where we could maybe have a huge breakthrough on the 3rd? Was that the word that you were...
There's definitely astrological alignments going on. And we had already talked about that with Julie a couple of nights ago. I think it was on our Friday night 2-hour where we were live Friday night, I think it was. But she brought up some of those dates, but also when we did our Friday, like the crypto, what was that called? What is it?
The Astro Woo.
Astro Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we look at the cards and astrology and how are things going to go financially for you? Yeah. So yeah, that one, Astro Woo Finance. We had already seen that February 3rd could be a big, interesting breakthrough day for a whole bunch of reasons, but it could be a really big day astrologically. But then I would check with the cards. It also looked like it. So it just looks like a very important day to break through the illusion, lift the curtain. You know, I know it's been lifting, but we might have a even bigger shock, similar to what that full moon little thing you put up right at the beginning, where it says there's breakthroughs and more truth. And I have a feeling it's that kind of thing coming. It also kind of looked like there was some intel dropped, but I can't exactly remember from where. Now I can't remember, but
she just typed in here the private chat, Julie, and I'm just typing that as you hear. But she says Mercury is going direct on the 3rd, close to Pluto. Big revelations about how the government was run. Perhaps speaking about what you're just talking about now, this deal that was done for the secret government. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And secret money arrangements. Wow.
And did you see that thing that's making the rounds about what is it, 200 mules?
No.
You see that? Okay, there's this video footage that shows all of these people dropping off certain pieces of paper that had something to do with a certain November date that was really important to the US.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it literally has like huge intel drop that just dropped a couple of days ago. So I've shared it everywhere that I share things. So you guys have to check out my Telegram, check out my Facebook, check out if you're on my Twitter, like all of those, Tarot by Janine. And
the title there was 200 mules?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mules. So they're like, you know.
Somebody's saying in the chat, most of them are saying 2,000 mules.
Oh, is it 2,000? Okay, 2,000.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, it was brilliant. Like
Wow.
I didn't get a chance to really examine it closely, but I watched it for about 20 minutes and it was like, whoa.
Stephanie says 2,000 mules from video of Dinesh D'Souza.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's wow. It's like
Wow.
eye-popping.
And could that also be that huge demarcation event that you guys were picking up that could spell very big trouble here for the powers that be in the next couple of days? Is that also?
Maybe. Well, it's definitely a reveal, right? Like
Yeah.
huge reveal, and just
Yeah.
there's so many things. And then, of course, we were getting the feeling that the Tower of London could fall. So London Bridge, yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
London Bridge could fall. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's code for a certain.
Well, let's switch gears here. We saw Saskatchewan start crumbling a couple of days ago, and then over the weekend, they finally announced that they would very soon, next couple of day type of thing, remove all of their restrictions and mandates. So that's the first province to go. Let's take a pulse here of Mr. F here in Toronto. He, of course, this weekend, as the convoy was arriving to Ottawa, I think his tweet was to the effect that Ontarians need to learn how to live with COVID, words to that effect. And here he is today saying that he's extremely disturbed to see the hateful symbols and the trucker protests.
Wow.
And it's funny, there was a lot of hateful posters at the BLM protests where Trudeau was taking the knee on the hill, but no media wanted to talk about that. No, that was perfectly fine. But in this particular case, they seem to be focusing on perhaps one or two people out of a few million people. So, anyway,
exactly.
Let's take a pulse here on Mr. F in Toronto. Is he also starting to fold like a cheap suit behind the scenes, or is he going to be a holdout here till the very end? Because if you guys remember, he was very adamant at the beginning of this that there would be no passport in Ontario. He did not want a two-tier society. Go check the tweets. Go check his pressers. He was very adamant about that, and suddenly he did that big reversal. We're not sure why, but is he going to be folding very soon?
He'll hang in a couple more days. Hang in, and then like it maybe give up something or make a tiny sign. Like, because this card gives up a little something, but not much. And then we've got the Hanged Man. Then he might really dig in his heels. So he might give up something and then dig in his heels for the rest. So that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got the Queen and the 3. Yeah, and then I feel like things start taking a new direction. I don't think it'll stay in the arena of the truckers. I know that sounds weird, but I got a feeling after Wednesday, we're in a new arena of some kind of drama. Can I do some cards on that? Because that's been a niggly energy.
Sure.
Even my trees were telling me.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. Your trees were talking to you this morning. Let me bring up this poster also. Again, just to put things in perspective of what Trudeau was saying this morning, this is the OPP reporting that at this point, this was a couple of days ago on the 30th, or maybe from the day before, 100,000 trucks were in Ottawa, an estimated 2.3 million on foot. That's not what the mainstream media is reporting. That's certainly not what Trudeau was reporting. And the RCMP were talking about 130,000 trucks. And it's just absolutely incredible. I was in the downtown core, and the whole of the downtown core is a huge parking lot. I mean, and there are people, as far as where I live, I'm about an hour away from Ottawa, at some of these big exits on the highway, and there's 2,000-3,000 trucks parked there in those big like hotels and trucker hotels and stuff. It's absolutely amazing to see. And at every minute, you see more truckers coming by on the highway. So this is by no means the small operation the mainstream media is letting it out to be.
Yeah.
So let's go back on the trees here. What were they telling you?
Oh, well, I do have these 3 in particular beautiful trees. They're almost like they form a triangle. And it's beautiful. But anyway, and the wind came up really, really big. Calgary, all of a sudden, we got a real big, it's like the wind chill, it was 7 degrees below, but the wind chill felt like 30 below. It was wow. Anyway, and I often get called out when there's a big wind. It's like the wind talks, right? I don't know about you, but to me, the wind really talks. So I went outside And I was looking at my trees, and I got just a knowing, which is how they talk, that anybody still hanging on to the agendas and the silliness is absolutely in trouble. That this thing's coming down, and just that feeling of it's going down. Things are going down, and get ready. What you've been waiting for is coming. And then I said, okay, well, did I get that right? Because in my mind, that's what I heard them say. So I spoke out that. I said, okay, so you're saying things are going down and this whole agenda is coming tumbling down around the world. Did I get that right? If I did, send me a raven today. So I got a raven about 2 hours later when I went for my last grocery run, because I start getting itchy, like, oh, I better go fill up the car and get that last few things that I might need if things go down and we're going to need a couple of weeks in the house or whatever. Or can't get out or whatever happens. Who knows? Well, there's so many stories about what could happen, but my raven was right over my car. Yeah. So wow. I know it's happening, you guys. Things are happening. We just need to stay in the love vibration. Yeah. I think Michael Jaco always says that, stay in the love vibration. And yeah, I
love the way he says it with his draw. The love.
Totally. Just be open.
You can totally do a Barry White song, you know.
Totally.
All right. And like Tara says, if you can only feel the love, you wouldn't feel the fear. I love that quote.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. A couple of things here I'm looking for. Let me see if I can find it. One in particular. I'll start here. So let me scroll back. So this is an Ottawa councillor now, basically trying to get at the funds here from the trucker convoy. I think they're up to $10 million now, or close to that. Now, there were reports in the mainstream news a couple of days ago that GoFundMe had seized them. I saw a press conference today from the organizers of the trucker convoy, and they said that no, that was a completely fabricated story from the mainstream news. Shocking that the mainstream news would do that. Now, some propose that maybe they did that to discourage other people from providing funds to this effort. So that was interesting. But now those funds have been eyeballed by the city of Ottawa here, who are perhaps trying to litigate, I guess, against the truckers here for damages incurred for this demonstration here in Ottawa. And they're, again, putting their eyes here on this $10 million. So let's pull some cards on that. Is the city of Ottawa here actually going to maybe try to seize this money for themselves?
Yeah. So everybody in that trucker convoy could also turn around with some good legal advice and get the whole, well, the government owes everybody for what they shut down our social life and our lives. So it started out just your social life was affected. Now, some places you can barely go grocery shopping. That's about all you can do. So some people have been out of work. Like, we could turn that right around. Like, are you kidding me? Anyway, so let's have a look. So we're going to look at any shenanigans around the GoFundMe. Is that what we're asking?
Yeah, let's do that. And again, I want to remind the audience here too, because the mainstream media is portraying this as, you know, basically a very scary organization that starts with the letter T. Yet at this point, when this was tweeted, this was already a couple of days ago on January 28th. At that point, they had already raised $6 million with 77,000 Canadian donors, whereas the Liberal Party had raised only $3.5 million in their first 3 months of 2021 from half of that. So again, just showing where the support is. And when Mr. Trudeau says that this is a fringe minority, well, this is a majority compared to the support he's getting for his party. Absolutely amazing. So let's look at that. Shenanigans, anything the cards can tell us about the GoFundMe campaign.
Okay, so the GoFundMe is it's done with legal advice and help. So it looks like it's on the up and up here. Here's what they're doing. So they're spreading false tales to get everybody to not exactly what you said, to get you alarmed. So they're throwing out some doubt. So it's a strategy. It's a strategy. Okay, so they're throwing out some doubt. Surrender to, So surrender to, they're just trying to anything they can to get that money out of the hands of the truckers. That's all. They're just trying to take the money away. The
Well,
only
again, here just some of the news story here too. They haven't retracted this. Here, Global News. This was 4 days ago, saying that GoFundMe has just now released the 1 million, still implying that perhaps they were freezing the rest. The story there from Ottawa councillor now trying to seize those funds. But let's go to this GoFundMe page. There you go, GoFundMe. This is what you're looking for. They're at $9.4 million now. I think the goal was 10 million, so they're almost there, guys. Let me bring that link down in the chat for you guys as well. Go ahead, Janine.
they might have had some policies about how much could be released at a time.
Right. Well, that's similar to what PayPal does and Etsy, those shops. Like, that's just par for the course. That doesn't mean necessarily that they were trying to prevent them from accessing the funds for more political reason. Sure, I understand that. Okay. So whoever it was that pointed this out to me today, I had already seen the press conference. So whoever sent me that on Twitter, a big thank you, because again, this is the fog of war. I do try to get it right. Jenny and I do absolutely want to try to get it right. But sometimes it's difficult in this life that we live right now with all of this confusion and obfuscation. So a big thank you for everyone sharing that redirect, I guess, with me today. So again, GoFundMe, go check it out. 2022 here for the convoy. And I got to tell you, he was being, some of the organizers were being asked today in the press conference if they were going to be there for a while. And he said something to the fact like, we have $8 or $9 or $10 million. We could stay here till 2025 if we want to. So it's like, I'm like, okay. They have a huge war chest, basically, is what was said there. And that was very interesting. And again, also for the guys who are maybe organizing this, maybe think about removing some from here, putting it in some crypto, so that you don't have to deal with these guys and some of these lawsuits.
Totally.
Again, just a suggestion, friendly suggestion. Try to avoid this, especially if the Ottawa court case is at all successful. They could find some type of binding arbitration or binding plea to have the judge freeze the amount until the court hears the case. And then they can play games and extend that hearing for the next 2 years, which would ostensibly mean that all of the account would be frozen until the case is heard. So these are the tactics that these lawyers can play in court. So again, that's what I'm telling the organizers, if you can, maybe move some of those funds out of harm's way and into crypto wallets that you guys control. ON is saying, yeah, great suggestion, JC.
Yeah.
Just saying, decentralized cryptocurrency. That's a whole other course, but we'll get to that in another show. Okay, Janine, oh my God, we're already 40 minutes in. This is crazy. There's so much to talk about. I don't even know where to go from here. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Should I bring this one in? Okay, this was interesting also because some of the tweets today from Justin Trudeau's account disappeared. And I was looking at that. You were looking at the comments under the Global News cast on YouTube, and the comments were absolutely horrendous. So Canadians were not having it. This was not just the fringe minority speaking. A lot of people were angry about those tweets from Justin Trudeau, and also about his speech there on Global News that was broadcasting live on YouTube. Let's talk about that. Who's in damage control here? Are they forcing the mainstream social media accounts to maybe sanitize these things, or is there a team behind Trudeau themselves now realizing perhaps that he's gone too far and they're trying to save face? Which of the two, or perhaps the two scenarios, are happening side by side here?
I think a lot of what's being said might be thrown out there to see how it gets, see what people pick up on and how this is a psychological war we're in. Probably. I feel like they're throwing out a lot of things just to see so this card's looking out there and watch what happens to that. So they're patiently looking at how people are reacting. Mm-hmm. Okay, so your negative comments underneath those sort of things are worthy, okay? And retweets with added what you think about it kind of things. That's why I do that too, right? So yeah, there's an undercurrent sort of some kind of organization watching all of everybody's reactions. So all of that's being monitored. Okay, so they're seeing it as they got to be way more careful. He's getting beat up out there. There was even some U.S. politicians calling him out. I circulated some of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm just saying, like, they couldn't believe he was talking to his people, and they brought up the blackface. This is somebody who's been known to wear blackface. So what's he doing calling his own people that like that? So yeah, he's not looking pretty.
Okay, let's take our first question here from the PayPal tip jar. Big thank you to all of you. Veronica Torres is saying, Jason, Janine, you guys are the best. Thank you, appreciate that. Will the Freedom Convoy open up travel once again without the COVID pass? Thank you. Does she mean specifically for the truckers, or she means for everybody else? How do you want to pull the cards on this one, Janine?
I think they're fighting for the freedom of Canadians.
Me too. It's globally for everything. It's all the
and hopefully for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, they're encouraging everybody, but they want in particular the government to drop those for,
Yeah. Well, let's pull some cards if they'll be successful in that. Thank you, Veronica. Appreciate that. And guys, let me make this plea also. It became very abundant when I was on the grounds on Sunday that the mainstream media was nowhere to be found. And I did interview a gentleman who was not very impressed with the mainstream media. And we talked about the video that Janine posted of that old lady, Gina, who was also not impressed with global news. And here's the thing. The Trudeau government gave them millions of dollars. And what they're doing with it is propagating hate and misrepresenting the news. Janine and I are absolutely volunteers. We're doing this out of our free time. So if you like this news content and you want to hear more about it, please consider using the tip jar and help us out. Because again, we didn't get any of those $1 million from Trudeau to spread all that BS around. We're trying to spread hope, love, and unity. Yeah. That's what we're all about. But we need your help doing that. This is a viewer-funded show. So a big thank you to everyone in the PayPal tip jar. Janine.
That cartoon you just put up, it's brilliant. Share the heck out of that, everybody. Share that, because that says everything. That's what I love about cartoonists. That says everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, this is what's going to happen from their action. So much stronger. Wow. We're in such a strong position, you guys, regardless of the things you're going to hear, because I think a lot of people are freaking out. Oh, it's going to be a big flappy thing. And I get that. I get it. And they are trying to do that. Like there's videos out there of them smashing windows. They're not doing that. Those videos are from some other. In fact, the police, the sirens were different sounding than Canadian police car sirens, by the way. It sounded like European sirens. So they were piecing together videos from other situations. Like it's just like, yeah, that they're saying we're rioting down there in Ottawa. In fact, wasn't it pretty quiet today, JeanClaude?
It's pretty quiet today, yeah.
Yeah. So everything eventually will get. So yeah, you're going to be able to. Yeah, you absolutely will. Surprise, it says. So there's a big surprise, positive surprise. You might even be surprised at how things go here, to the good. And this is the past. So we've been under this horrific domination, but we have a much stronger position because of what the truckers are doing to move things in the direction that almost looks like the surprise I might be talking about has something to do with military stepping out of the shadows, because that's kind of something I've been picking up on here. That could happen this week, and this card could, something's going to surprise us. So what I get that saying is the truckers are doing great and all that stuff, but something else might bring you that freedom ultimately. And I think it could have something to do with a move, maybe by the U.S., maybe by the White Hats, maybe by the Alliance. So don't underestimate that. Don't worry, that's coming.
Okay.
Like that song he always plays now at the end of his rallies. Okay. There's a lot of stuff going on, and the rally's awesome. And it gave us a lot more strength. And I think they being off-worlders, even the wise ones, the galactic helpers, all of those energies that we make up the alliance. I think they're watching and waiting. They were waiting for those kind of moves. We're making the moves all over the world. There's stuff going on all over the world that's brilliant. And I think we're finally doing our job here, people.
Awesome news. And I like the 555 from Crystal on the screen, universal love. And yes, that's what it's all about. And if you look at that poster, I'm in there with Tara Cox interviewing her about the love frequency in the
Yay.
show. Of course, I love that poster too. So please go to
Yeah.
my Twitter and retweet the hell out of that
Yeah,
one.
that's brilliant.
Okay, today, Janine, you and I got a bunch of emails, tweets, and all this stuff about this idea that perhaps BlackRock and other nefarious beings were originally involved in the convoy itself. Of course, the mainstream news wants to tell us it's the damn Russians again.
Sure.
But let me see if I can pick up this question here from Kat Bear in the Insider Access Pass. She says, were the convoys originally planned by Soros, but then taken over by the White Hats? That's a good twist on thing. I like the way that question's asked. Thank you, Kat Bear, for that. Let's see what the cards have to say. And there was a gentleman in the screen. My producer put it up on the screen there, and I didn't get a chance to write it, but he was one of the persons who shook my hand. So a big thank you to you. And if I can find that comment again, I'll bring it back up on the screen. Go ahead, Janine.
So to what she said, yes.
Oh, wow.
Back in the day, it was planned. Okay, all of this has been planned. Remember, I was talking about that that deck of cards that they made, and the cards showed up on that financial magazine several years.
The Economist magazine, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Several years in a row, they would put for their yearly, they'd put up some cards, look like a card reading. Okay, that deck. Okay, so it has a trucker strike card. That's like a convoy of truckers and they're striking. Okay. And that's why a lot of people point that and say, okay, this is just a big, yeah, it was originally planned by the bad guys, or this was something that they saw that could happen. And don't forget, they know how to fold time. Okay. They got some stuff going on where they look a little bit in the future. Okay. Maybe a lot in the future. Okay. Okay. So that, the way they wanted it to happen didn't happen. Okay, because they've been taken over. Remember, we saw this in our first layout.
Yep.
When we were asking about Mr. T there, our Canadian Mr. T. That government's been taken over, and deals were made. So it could have even been instigated by, I think, the Alliance at this point. So yeah, it's been taken over, and but it was originally the idea. I mean, don't forget that the Simpsons did a video on a big rally, a big trucker convoy. They did a cartoon about it. I've been circulating it for days. You've probably seen it, right? And they got a guy that looks just like Justin Trudeau, or it could be, right? Crawling out a window. Interesting, kind of like in the energy of a vampire. It's quite interesting, and hiding away from the convoy. Okay, that was put out by the Simpsons. So yeah, you bet they originally had this plan, but the difference is what they're doing in the convoy is it's all in love, and it's not trying to shut the whole country down. It's volunteer truckers. They're not on strike. Okay, they're just saying we want to change things. So they're not striking to get paid more. They're putting their lives on hold to change, the tyranny. And that's what they're doing. So the energy has changed and the approach is different, and it's a love freedom convoy. Different than a strike, anger, and, because the dark energy loves anger and grief. It's different than that. So that's why the vibration has to be kept in that loving vibration.
Talking about the loving vibration too, there were reports that the truckers were stealing food away from the homeless. And of course here, the truckers are giving food to the homeless in Ottawa, but that's not going to be in the mainstream news. No. You can't see that. It doesn't fit the narrative, folks. And of course, I saw a bunch of truckers also plowing, shoveling the streets so people wouldn't trip on the ice blocks on the Parliament Hill front steps, and they were washing windows, and come on. Mainstream,
it's a stretch. It's like, are you kidding me? Come on, anybody gonna believe that? And you know what else? We saw a video clip of, remember that statue that apparently got draped in a Canadian flag, horrors, and some garbage was strewn around it. They cleaned it up. Yeah. And there's a video clip of them cleaned it and polished it right back up.
Oh, you mean the Terry Fox statue? That one?
Yeah, exactly. They cleaned it up. Truckers cleaned it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Again, just totally not what was in the news. And again, everybody I met was smiling. Hey, love. Like, it was so amazing. Again, I just like came back here. I was so like, I was emotional all day. And
Yeah.
anyways, guys, I didn't get the footage of the truckers inside their trucks. So I was getting people where we were,
Yeah.
but when I got to the trucks, both our batteries were frozen tight. Like, it was so cold. Like, the charge in our batteries went so fast. It was so incredible. But anyways, I wanted to document the real people on the street who Trudeau was telling us were this fringe minority. And of course, you got to hear from a lot of them. So go check out that episode from yesterday, the live stream. A big thank you to Julie and Janine for holding the fort while I was away, freezing my you-know-what's off. It was absolutely fun. I had a good time. And so a few other people told me how tall I was, too. It was like, oh my God, you're taller than you look like on YouTube. That was kind of funny. Okay, Jill is asking a question. Oh, this is interesting, Janine. Let's go to the other side of the world here. She's saying the Chinese New Year starts tomorrow, February 1st. Is this influencing events in Canada? And somebody else was asking also, could that also start a new phase in this particular spiritual war we're in? So what's happening with China in relation to this new year starting tomorrow? You were kind of staring at me weird there in the camera, Janine. You kind of freaked me out. What were you thinking about just now?
Yeah.
You're just concentrating on your deck? Is that what you're doing?
I'm concentrating on my tarot. Okay. So I let my mind go over here and bring something else in. So it might look weird.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. I wasn't sure if the camera froze or what was going on there for a sec.
And the Empress. Okay, so she's asking about, okay, so we've had a really big change in the whole energy all over the world. That's in the past, leading up to February 1st. This is what happens on February 1st. It's really interesting. So we've got a big reveal or moving out or more clarity, let's say, for the good of the people. And here we've got something to do with a powerful woman, a loved woman, or you could say the beloved, divine feminine. Something about the divine feminine really steps back onto the scene with that new year energy. So, but there's definitely some kind of positive shift because that 6 moves things out of troubled water and gives you more clarity. And it's to the advantage of, it'll be celebrated by the people. And somehow there's either a powerful woman involved or an earth, sort of Mother Earth energy that could even be the divine feminine. Or you could say bringing in more abundance. So we know there's a quantum financial, or I know anyway, I feel it in my heart and I've seen it in the cards for a year. There's a quantum financial sort of based in metals system sneaking up under the people have wrote me and asked their bankers. I asked my banker. It's been confirmed by these bankers. So it's like we just need to, they say they're waiting for the nod. You know? So that could be something to do with that becoming more apparent, some kind of more abundance. But things are interesting. Wow.
Janine, we're at 9,900 something viewers between both our simulcasts tonight. We're almost at the 10,000. Would you imagine? You want to stay on a few more minutes and see if we could crack that 10,000? Wouldn't it be cool? We're 57 minutes in. We have a few minutes left, but wouldn't that be cool? Oh, man. Thank you so much, everyone, for all that love. Let me read 2 amazing comments here just in support here in the PayPal tip jar. Again, thank you so much, everyone, for those tips. You guys are amazing. Thanks for all your hard work and coverage of the events. I always feel uplifted watching your shows. Thank you. And Eric, so that was from Danielle Olson. Daniel and Eric says, great show, J&J. Appreciate your hard work. Job well done. And a lot of people last night also were saying J&J doing the show, the Triple J's. They absolutely love the collaboration of us 3. And Feng Shui Susan, in reference to me freezing my you-know-what's off the other day at -30, she's saying, yeah, you're going to have to follow Cliff's advice and sun your thingies. So, yeah, okay. We're told to be exposing those parts to the sun right now, but yes, maybe soon. Maybe in my greenhouse, but still here at -30. Nope. Yeah. Way too cold. I'm not going to go there anytime soon. Okay, thank you for going out in the cold. Emmy Hunter, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, let me see here. What else do we have? Quite a few questions from the Insider Access Pass still. Well, Janine, as I hunt for more questions, is there anything else on the either Ascending Ravens that we haven't talked about? Oh, I have a clip also I want to show you guys of how loud it actually was yesterday. But before we do that, is there anything else coming up on Tarot by Janine tonight or tomorrow that you need to share with the audience?
I haven't even thought that far. I'm so overwhelmed today, and it's a new moon right on the cusp. I might take another break. I mean, I know that's going to be people are going to be grumpy about that, but
well, speaking of breaks,
I need to sleep tonight.
Janine called me at like 4 p.m. I was sleeping today. I was completely zapped by the cold last night, and then coming back, doing all the shows, producing all the slides, and doing this stuff for the show here today. We're tired, guys. So first of all, a big thank you to everyone in the Insider Access Pass. These are the last 2 episodes you're looking for. The Astro Rule Finance here for February. Please do go check that out. And also the last update for the crypto crash course, the security addendum, is available now also for pay-per-view. This, of course, helps us and supports us so we can do these live free shows for you guys. And I want to say a big thank you. And I want to say a big thank you specifically to those Insider Access Pass members. I'm a few days late now on production because of all of this, being outside of my home and tracking all of these amazing historical events. But as always, you know that I will eventually not only deliver, but over-deliver. So please just be patient with me here in the next couple of days as Janine and I maybe rest up because I think there's going to be more ruckus here in the next couple of days also that Janine and I are going to have to really work at in presenting all of that stuff to you. So somebody's asking, JC, where's the tip jar? Susan. Okay, let me bring that link back up on the screen for you. Thank you so much, Susan. Appreciate that. Let me bring that here. A big thank you. And again, so a big thank you to all those Insider Access Pass members. Like I said the other day, everybody on the Hill was saying, well, how come they're giving millions to these mainstream media and they're not anywhere here to be found? It was me, Rebel News, another guy, Walk Ottawa, I think his name is. And that's it. Nobody else was reporting from the Hill. There was not a reporter inside.
It's like we're in a communist country already. It's absurd. Yeah. Our healthcare is despicable, dangerous even to go near anybody practicing supposed health, practices in the hospitals and stuff like that. This is unprecedented times we're in. It's unbelievable.
I just took a snapshot there of the 9,900 something viewers. I hope we can hit the 10,000. We have a few minutes. Let me see if I can pick a question. If not, oh my God. There's a lot we can get through. The Boulevard today, people are throwing away their dollars. It's just absolutely crazy. We didn't even touch the financial stuff here tonight, but it's happening at the same time. Yeah. So perhaps maybe we'll retake those comments on Wednesday night. For now, Janine, let's maybe end on some words of wisdom here. There's 48 hours. There's this new moon energy. What can the cards tell the audience here to kind of hold the line here physically, but also spiritually? For the next 48 hours until we're back on this reporting. And in the meantime, also, guys, I'll show you that clip in a second here. But tomorrow night, if you're a French speaker, Julie and I are going to be producing a French version of this Siege of Ottawa episode. So, Siège à Ottawa, dernière nouvelle du convoi, oui, en français. So, à 8h ou à 20h, heure de l'Est, demain soir. Alors, si vous voulez nous rejoindre pour ça. Ce serait vraiment bienvenu de votre part. Alors, Janine, back to you. Words of wisdom, next 48 hours.
Next lifetime, I'm going to know French again. It really does sound so beautiful.
And I totally messed that up. My mind's still in the English gear too. I'm like, oh, it's horrible. I'm too tired to speak French.
Okay, so we're going to see these fives.
Yeah.
Temporary setbacks and disappointments around the big rally, guys. Okay, but temporary. Fives are temporary and they're necessary. So you're going to see all kinds of false news reported and all kinds of scary stories. They're already starting with the videos that are put together from other countries, supposedly in downtown Ottawa. So find the faults in them. Okay, and notice and just be good sleuths. Okay, and then share what your findings are when you find that they're false. Okay, share that because the real situation is way better. They're actually doing great. in general, they're doing great. Their money is available. It's all on the up and ups from what I'm seeing here. We've got the 3 of Pentacles. It's going to be available to the truckers and their families. Like, there's good things happening. And when you listen to the actual organizers, they're all saying that. Like, there was some glitches they had to work out. There's still some truckers that a bunch of them were isolated by, they were put in as part of the city because there wasn't enough room downtown, and they got isolated, and nobody was bringing them food or anything until they found out they were there. And then they brought them food and got them some hotel rooms so they could have showers. So yeah, like, things are happening and it's getting worked out. So trust and keep watching those live streams so you can get the real picture.
Yeah.
Exactly. Things are going to be okay there with those guys. They're doing fantastic. Send them love, and don't focus on the bad stories. Just circulate and let everybody know that they're false stories.
Okay, very good advice. And Libby in the chat, I did get some of your emails. For some reason, either the spam detector is taking it off because of the big attachments you sent them. But I did listen to at least 1 or 2, and absolutely fabulous. A big thank you for that music. It did, in fact, lift my spirit. So a big thank you to you, Libby. She sent me some amazing of her recordings, some emails. Anyways, a big thank you to you, Libby, for that. I am backed up in the email like you wouldn't believe in the last couple of days, but I did see those emails, Libby, and it did lift my heart. So big thank you to you, Libby. Okay, so let me play this last clip here before we go. This was how loud it was, and this is not the loudest clip. So when I was interviewing with the little microphone, the microphone was really condensing the sound to where my voice is and my guest, but you really couldn't hear how loud. And this is why I was screaming so loud, because for me it was deafening. So let me show you part of this clip here.
So folks, thank you for joining us here on this live people out there. Not the first news on the street.
Okay, so you can see how loud that was, and I don't think that does it justice, Janine. It was absolutely crazy. Yeah, and when we got there too, walking next to these cars all day was just like, when we got home, like our heads were pounding. And yes, a big thank you again to Julie at Maison Jupiter for holding the fort and producing that show, that live show. And of course, you can get a booking with Sophie, our beautiful sister here, who does tarot readings at maisonjupiter.com. And if you're also interested in those amazing birth charts that Julie produces, you can get them here also on the boutique page of her website. And for these birth charts, again, these will be extremely helpful for you if you're watching these Astro Woo Finance episodes. It'll give you a lot more insights on how finances and how these alignments are going to affect you specifically. So if you haven't seen this episode, please do go check it out. It's on our pay-per-view. In the meantime, folks, you can find the beautiful Janine at Tarot by Janine when she's not sleeping or in jail here at Sending Ravens. This was a Monday night edition of Siege of Ottawa, Freedom Convoy, and special updates. I'm JeanClaude BeyondMystic. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon, everyone. Au revoir.
Au revoir.